There is one main reason I've always wanted an E60 M5 and why I purchased one. No, not to get scammed, and no, not to work on it 7 days a week just to get it running somewhat, but because of the S85, in particular the sweet sound you get from that legendary motor. I wanted it just to modify the exhaust and hear it scream. That's the #1 reason I own one, and today my dream finally becomes a reality. I did tell you guys in the last E60 M5 video that we're gonna make the car sound epic, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today. I can't even control this smile, I'm like beyond excited. You know I had to go with the FI exhaust for the E60 M5. Can you imagine an FI exhaust paired with the S85 V10? Oh, it's gonna be so saucy. FI exhaust systems are normally known for giving your car a high-pitched exotic sound, but here's the thing. The E60 M5 V10 already sounds pretty exotic. Exotic plus exotic equals more exotic. The stock exhaust system doesn't come with valves, at least I don't think so. This is the exhaust that I pulled out of my E60 M5, which looks relatively stock minus the modifications to have cutout valves that don't work properly, so good riddance. So this is a full exhaust system for the E60 M5 minus the headers. You got the pipes here that connect to the headers. You got the mid pipe, 2 mufflers, exhaust tips, the Pro remote system, some decals, and a bunch of stuff in this bag to properly run the exhaust valve system. So you have the vacuum tank here, vacuum lines, and electrical connections. For the exhaust tips, I was kind of indecisive. I originally went the chrome, and then I switched over to the gloss black, and then I decided to go with the burnt titanium because it just looks saucier. And if the car's gonna sound super saucy, we need the tips to look saucy as well. And that's right, we have an exhaust valve system, so you have the choice to make it loud, which is what we're gonna do, and when to make the exhaust sound quiet, which is not what we're gonna do. What's really cool about the Pro remote system is, just like on my F10 M5, you'll have multiple ways to control the exhaust valves. This brain system pretty much does all the work. You'll wire that in, connect it to your car's OBD port, and then you can either use the FI app or this remote to control the valves, or you can kind of set everything up to be automated. I'll get into that more a little bit later. This is normally an option I always get when I purchase an FI exhaust for one of my cars. It's just a lot more intuitive. You have flexibility. Plus, if you lose the remote, you got your phone to control the valves, and if you lose your phone, you got the controller, and who needs your phone when you have a really epic sounding exhaust on your car, right? So I highly recommend this. If you want to learn more about this particular exhaust system from FI, or if you're interested in purchasing one for your car, I'll leave links down in the video's description. All right, let's get to it. Let's make this E60 M5 sound epic. Everything underneath the car was absolutely clapped. I mean, everything on this car is clapped in general. So this is probably gonna be the easiest exhaust install. I lost this because apparently BMW decided to weld the one on the left side, but the one on the right hand side just kind of sits in there loosely. They don't sell this brand new or individually. You have to buy the header system to get this flange. So luckily for me, I found one seller only in the entire world, and he was on eBay, 50 bucks. And I think it was M Parts Worldwide, so kudos to them. This under panel was missing, so all the fuel lines were exposed, so I bought a new one of these. And I'm missing the exhaust tunnel shield that goes right underneath the drive shaft. Ordered it, and order got canceled because that item is discontinued. I just want to have it as clean as possible and have it like OEM. So if you guys have one for sale or you're parting out an E60 M5, please message me on Instagram. I want to get the tunnel shield here to complete the look. All right, so we're gonna figure out where all the exhaust hangers go. There's quite a few of them. There's 4 for the rear, 2 for each side. Then like the front rear, there's 2 there. And then we have the brace, which has 2 as well. Oh yeah, that's much easier. How many times did we swap out these goddamn exhaust hangers?
16 times probably.
Off video, we were trying to line it up correctly. We kept getting it wrong. This is the correct orientation. It's like that. This end out, the other side end out, and then the bent part has to be towards the front. Sheesh. All right. Yes guys, the E90 is still alive and she's running okay. Just so you guys know, I'll have a future video on this car very soon. Easiest way to figure out the orientation for the exhaust, FI always provides a plate on the lower section where you can actually see it. The same goes for the mufflers. Look at that, magic. We We left the flanges from the headers a little bit loose. We have a little bit of play, so once we install the rest of the exhaust, there's flexibility. And then once we adjust everything perfectly, then we can start tightening things down. Because if you don't do it that way, then you're gonna have to keep going back and forth, adjusting things, and it's not fun. Fitment looking very, very good. FI always does such a good job with their exhaust systems. Fitment is never an issue. I went ahead and slapped on the Bird titanium tips just to see what it looks like, make sure everything is nice and straight, which everything looks to be fine. We didn't put any of the clamps yet because we'll leave this for last. I already started on routing the vacuum line to the front of the car so we can have access to activate the valves for the mufflers.
Routing the vacuum line wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The best way I found to do this was to connect one end of the vacuum line to the left muffler and the other end to the right muffler. I measured accordingly, split the line, and ran them above the mufflers behind the exhaust heat shields. That way they don't get damaged with heat from the system. Unbolting some hardware was necessary to tuck the lines good so they wouldn't drop, and then route them over the subframe. Once we got it up to the engine, it was time to find a vacuum source and look for a spot to place the small vacuum tank. Surprisingly, it was more straightforward than I thought it would be. The location we chose was easily accessible.
All right, so on to the not so fun part. We've done it one time on the F10 M5. This is the main brain. This, which attaches to it, goes into the car's OBD port so it can read the car's information, and you can control the valves automatically if that's something you want to do based on boost or RPM level. The other two connectors here, blue and this cream colored, goes all the way back to this side where it's essentially power and ground, and then you have a fuse right here. They also include this, which I think is an extension. But if we need that, we'll use it. These group of wires go to the solenoid, and from solenoid, you go to the air tank, which is right here, and then to the exhaust valves. So as far as the electrical stuff, the wiring, the connections, all that stuff is good. So from the DME, ran it all the way to this side over here. The solenoid, obviously, so we can tap in to get that vacuum, which is down here. And then we routed the connector to the brain module through the firewall. There was a little spot right here behind like the brake booster. And as you guys can see, it's all connected and ready to go. We have the port for the OBD, which is gonna go right here. I'll go ahead and put the kick panel back on. Probably double side tape this to the bottom section right here. And after that, we'll get the first sound test. All right, so the last thing to do is to line up the exhaust tips, tighten them up, and that's it. As you guys can see, I pulled them out just enough so we can see the FI logo. Very nice. Not hot boy, just enough to be able to see the FI and be able to see a little bit of color.
You gotta sauce it up, bro. You gotta take it on the road and sauce it up.
Let's go ahead and close up the valves real quick. See what that sounds like. No, we gotta open up them valves. All right, go. What the fuck? This is not acting. This is not me being a character. That has to be the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life in person. Oh my God. I think my pants are moist.
Yes!
So it's the first official drive since we've done the exhaust, and technically speaking, since we've done the rod bearings, the struts, and the springs. It should be very fun. Are the valves closed or open? I don't know. Yeah, it's on race. Maybe there's not a lot of cabin sound. On the outside, it's really loud though. It sounds good, but it's not loud inside at all.
You need headers.
I got some headers on order. This should be here in a few weeks. So you gotta make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. We'll put the windows up and we'll see if we can hear more. Oh my God! Oh my God. Let me see, downshifts, downshifts.
Is that a backfire?
Yes, it is.
What the hell?
Oh! Dude, it's chiropractic sessions over here.
Yeah, this is like almost not like fun at the same time.
Especially not when you're holding a camera.
Exactly, I'm going over here like this.
So it's the next day. I'm gonna get you guys some more exhaust clips. Hopefully the muffler is a little bit more broken in now, so it should be louder from the interior of the car. Look at that, we got a bridge too. This should sound pretty epic. Me like it. Bro, that sounds good. As epic as this system sounds and how freaking beautiful and loud it is, it can be twice as loud with some headers. Well, the E60 M5 in its natural habitat. Broken down and I can't drive. Oil's below minimum, and check this out. Leaking oil. This was after pushing it a few times down the road. I can't catch a break. I can't catch a break. Try to have a little bit of fun, and I get cock blocked by E60 M5, S85, maintenance, reliability, show, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Make sure I hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video. It really does help out the channel. If you guys want to consistently see more M5 videos, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.